Hello, my name is Kane. I am from London, 24 years old. I am a music artist, a model, and a herbalist of sorts. I like to read books. Uh, I like art in general. I like nature. Honestly, anything that just kind of resonates with anything that resonates with love, anything that resonates with knowledge or wisdom. Like I'm about it. I strive to grow. I strive to know more. So the story changed. You wouldn't know. You didn't want to wait until the end. I don't know how that's coming out, but what I would usually do is I would just do a little strumming on this, kind of see if there is anything that wants to intuit itself to me, and I would just kind of, I don't know, just strum and hum, see if there's anything that I can put into a tangible song at any one moment. I never know when it comes, so I'll just pick up my guitar and just start playing and hope to get lucky. I am writing an album, or an EP at the moment, that is mostly guitar based. So a lot of what I do with the guitar, these recent days, has just been just practicing that, kind of getting it, getting the song strong enough for me to record and then put together. And while I practice this, I'm also I produce as well. So I have my Mac here, and this is a beat, a more hip hop type, I don't know, thing that I'm working on, kind of separate to my EP that I'm working on. What I'm leaning into right now is more focused towards, I guess, melodic type of rap music. I'm learning the guitar. I have experience in playing the piano. So a lot of what I write is kind of centered around a bit more of an acoustic type of feel. And genre-wise, that can range from alternative to more hip-hop-y or R&B. But yeah, as I stated before, I do try and kind of keep quite flexible in terms of how I create even outside of music. Because anything can be art, really and truly. Even the way how, I don't know, you cook, or a lot of people do a lot of things today that you could consider art. There's a whole idea of what do you call it, contemporary art, where people are literally fucking taping shit to walls and calling that something. So I think it just depends on what you're putting into it. Can't explain what you do to me. What did you do to me? Look what you do to me. Said I can't explain what you do to me. Look what you do to me. Oh, you're accusing me, girl. Don't know how you could. Don't know who you are. Don't know why you changed. I feel like it comes down to a sense of identity. I think there is something that we can do to fix our sense of identity. I think especially as Black people, we've had a roller coaster of a history. And I think that plays a very big role, especially in our current times, regardless of how far away it might feel like at times. And that manifests itself in a multitude of ways, right? We can talk about how, historically we come from places that were, kingdoms, and everyone there was living a lavish lifestyle and they recognized their divinity and they were one of the divine. But now in our communities today, we have people believing in the strong sense of separation. We have people looking at the other side and recognizing them as opposition, right? So I think the community today is very divided, and that has come from obviously a lot of experience in the past that could have been traumatic, that was fucking brutal to some degree. And I think that has really fragmented people's sense of self, and therefore their sense of belonging in in their communities.
Right now we're at Brixton. This is where I work here as well. And this is where I pretty much just like live my outdoor life. You know, there's a lot of culture here, a lot of food.
Don't know who you are, don't know why you changed. I wonder where it belongs. Shouldn't be long before you see the point of the song. I wish I was strong enough to keep him fighting for something I thought was real, for someone I would've killed for. But instead I got something I need to heal from. You could've said when you finally closed the deal. I should've read between the lines all the shit that you ain't say. The lyrics in your story would've shown me you gave way. And it's fucked up, I know that I fucked up. Too many times that I done make mistakes and I fucked up. I thought that you'd have never lost your faith when I fucked up. But you can't retract the damages you make when you fucked up. So I'ma just make up my own plans and stay in my own lane. I finally understand we're going our own ways. If I don't see you again, it's okay. But I don't think that this feeling I got for you is gonna change.
It's a good way to incorporate a lot more water into your diet if you're like, if you don't find yourself drinking as much water straight from the bottle. Right. Fruits have a different structure of water. It's H3O2, and this type of water molecule, which is 3 hydrogen atoms and 2 oxygen atoms, they attach to the cells in your body a lot more easier than H2O, which is the normal drinkable water that we have. Food for thought.
There is definitely a point, but it is something that you do have to search for. If you tell yourself there isn't a point, then there will be no point, you know? And that's the power that a lot of us have that we don't actually recognize. There is power in the word. So, like, I think if you're seeking it, then you will find it. If you're looking for purpose, if you're looking for a point to anything, you will find it. And, you know, like, if you're not looking for that, then obviously you won't. We're here to make mistakes. We are. And, you know, I know because I've done it myself, you know. And there were times where I would beat myself up so much because I know that I should have known better and da-da-da-da. But all that's gonna do is just send you deeper into that loop of, you know, negativity, basically. Whenever, you know, you are struggling, whenever you are like, you know, on the rocky part of the road, like, just take what you can from it. Take what you can from it. Recognize that there is wisdom to be extracted from all places. And once you, like, get back to that state of peace, that's when you'll have that clarity of mind where, again, you can intuit whatever it is that you need to do. So, regardless of what's happening, if you can keep that, I guess, sense of peace, and that sense of clarity, and that sense of groundedness and centeredness, you'll get by. You'll do all right. You'll make it through.
This is like sunlight, but edible. I hear that. Can't go wrong with it.
Obviously, love, like, the word in and of itself is very, like, you can use it to describe a lot of things. But one of the best definitions that I've heard of love, that I read from a book by Bell Hooks, which is her book all about love. She says that love is the, I guess, commitment to, like, help one or yourself to develop in your spiritual growth. She worded it a lot more poetically than I just did. But long story short, I think love is that force that allows you to transform and to grow, not just spiritually, but physically, mentally, and emotionally as well. So I think it's very important. I think it is the driving force behind the good in the world. Because obviously, you know, we can have material gain, we can gain a lot in terms of worldly possessions, but if there isn't love behind it, it's either you will feel empty regardless of however much you have, or, like, you'll lose it because you'll recognize that the value was never in there and it was actually in what you're putting into it, which is love, you know. And that type of love usually lasts longer with things that aren't manufactured, with things that are born, people, animals, I don't know, nature, you know. So I do think love is very important. I think I think the more we can, like, resonate on that, like, frequency, which is love. Love is an emotion, right? You can describe it as, and therefore it is a frequency. It has a particular, like, it registers at a particular, like, what do you call it, wavelength. And when you operate on that wavelength, I think, like, automatically we begin to attract and also project a lot more positivity in the world. It's a bit different. The story changed, you wouldn't know. You didn't want to wait until the end. Well, I thought you'd stay, but we had to let go. All I ever think about is how it all began. And gone is the rain that we both love, and gone is the pain we endured. Oh, I thought we'd stay here forever, with nothing in our way. Spirituality to me just means, like, having the understanding that existence and life is so much bigger than just us as individuals. Because, for example, I'm here in my physical body and you're there, and we're in two separate spaces existing, I guess, in two separate vehicles. But all of it is part of the one path, right? All of it is part of that, like, this one continuum, which we could call time. And spirituality to me is just learning to align with that will and learning to trust it more than anything. Meditation and prayer are two very different things, but you can use them to get to the same place. So, you know, when you meditate, it's more that you're stilling your mind from any stray thoughts that you've taken in from the day or from however long, from the years even. And you're kind of letting them pass by, letting them circle around, and then you're letting them leave, you're letting them dissipate. And then prayer is once you're in that space of just openness and emptiness, is when you establish that connection to the divine, to yourself, to your inner world, to your heart, to your core, to your spirit, to God. And you basically just open that channel to communicate between what is you physically and what part of you connects to the essence of what we call life. But I was running from my demons in the dark, considering that I could heal myself if I'd have seen it from the start. I was running around a crazy town, could never find the end. But now I hear it calling back, finding home again. Now I hear it calling back, finding home again. Look at something. You know what? I'm still actually working on sounding good with the guitar, so don't fucking judge. But it's like, more than anything, I think, as I was saying before, like, it really does help me just get out, like, whatever it is that I'm thinking about. So obviously I know that I'm not, like, I might not, like, like, the concept in my head might not always align with how it translates physically or into actual sound, but, like, more than anything, whenever I'm writing, like, I just try and get out whatever's in my head. I need to get off what's on my chest, whatever I'm thinking, whatever I feel at that moment. And, you know, I think that's what is very beautiful about art, you know, because for some people it will resonate a lot, and for some people they'll really kind of, like, get the gist of what's happening and what you're feeling. But obviously we all have different emotions and we all have different experiences. So I think the same way how I might not listen to rock, you know, I think it's totally cool if, you know, someone might not listen to what I'm doing. But obviously we all do seek connection, and I seek connection as a human being as well. And ideally, what I can do with my music, like, the place where I'm aiming to evolve with it, is just to resonate with as many people as I can. Because the more people I feel that I can resonate with in time, obviously the more, like, the greater sense of community I feel like I'd be able to build with that, you know, because we'd all have these similar experiences, we'd all have this like-minded sense of life and like understanding of each other, you know, and registering our own thoughts and feelings. So, you know, still working on it. I'm still getting like my vocal sessions in check and stuff. I also have this beat here, which we're probably gonna find a way to play. Something very different again. So in this reality, in 10 years' time, I see myself praying every day, all the time. I see myself just surrounded by green. I see myself with nothing but just my household, no one but my household, and everything that I need to just, well, basically give thanks. But on the flip side, I see myself like also trying to help out the community here in London, but also in all of the places that I feel connected to. For example, the homeland Jamaica, which is where my family are from. I just had a recent trip there, and you know, I see how the people live, and I see how the people live here who are from there, and that whole dynamic between their families and their communities back home as opposed to being here. So a lot of the plans that I have for the future are centered around like building up both of those communities so that we can all have, I guess, more opportunity, a better standard of life, you could say. Take some time to be alone. Take some time to like, you know, take some time in solitude. I think is very important, because only then will you have the noise of the world kind of shut out so that your own inner voice is audible.